Yeah, bitch! What's going on, friends? Logan Myerz here for Cinephellas.com. Tonight I'm going to be talking about a movie that a lot of us didn't really know about until a few months ago, and I'm talking about Vince Gilligan's newest film that just hit Netflix on Friday night. I'm talking about El Camino. So I'm going to start off by saying I'm a huge Breaking Bad fan. Like obsessed when the show was on. It ended in 2013. That's the last time we saw these characters. The last episode of the show was titled Felina, and we saw Walter White returning, making amends with Jesse, and basically getting him out from Uncle Jack's meth lab. So Jesse was essentially locked up in this cage. He was forced to make meth for Jack and psychopath Todd, played by Jesse Plemons, and then Heisenberg returns and saves the day, essentially, and then we see the end of Heisenberg, one of the greatest fictional characters ever written in history of TV, alongside, Jesse Pinkman, played by Aaron Paul, two of the greatest characters. Such beautiful chemistry throughout all the seasons of Breaking Bad. They really had something special with the show, and that's why I was so obsessed with it. I just fell in love with the story. I fell in love with these characters and this atmosphere in New Mexico, something that I revisit over and over again and notice new things about it and how well crafted the show was. And Vince Gilligan is a genius for crafting and making these characters and the story, and then returning with the next chapter in the Breaking Bad universe, El Camino. But the last episode of Felina, we saw, Jesse Pinkman breaking out, taking the El Camino, which was Todd's car, and like crashing through the gate, and he's like, yeah! And I thought he was going to throw in a yeah bitch, but he didn't. But he's on the go, he's on the run, and it picks up in the new film. What happened to Jesse Pinkman, and where is he headed? At this point, Jesse goes to the place he knows that's safe and people he can trust. And I'm talking about the return of Badger and Skinny Pete, the meth cronies, his buddies, but they're really fantastic actors. He shows up to see where they're at, and it looks like they spent most of their money they got from Heisenberg on gaming equipment and gaming chairs. So they're basically living the same lifestyle, but Jesse shows up. He looks like shit. He has a beard. He looks disgusting. He's dirty, longer hair. He's emotionally distraught from what he had to go through, being caged up like an animal for so long, forced to make meth, and then him finally escaping and trying to make a better life for himself. Him showing up in Badger and Skinny Pete seeing what happened to Jesse. They haven't seen him in so long. So the cops are on his trail. They're trying to track him down because of this huge scene that happened at Uncle Jack's house, the meth lab, Walter White. And Walter White is confirmed in the movie is dead after the last episode. There's a lot of speculation, a lot of theories that you never saw him get zipped up in a body bag, so maybe he is indeed alive. But they confirm in the movie, spoilers, I'm sorry, that he is dead. So we do get a little glimpse of Bryan Cranston returning as Heisenberg in the film, but just a little glimpse that he's not a pivotal part of this story, really. So Jesse Pinkman cleaning up and on the go. He's trying to get some money together. He needs to get the fuck out of there and start a new life, because if he doesn't, he'll end up in prison and probably dead. So introduces a lot of old flashbacks, a lot of old characters we're familiar with. And this time around, there's also a lot of great cinematography, just like the show. One of my favorite aspects of Breaking Bad, just the way everything looks, the wide frame, the wide shot of the desert, driving out to the desert, having the camera underneath the actors or talking. But my favorite shot of the movie is this over-the-top shot. It looks like a mouse in a maze looking for cheese, but it's Jesse Pinkman. He's kind of looking for money throughout Todd's house. As you guys remember, he killed Todd in the final episode, Felina. So this place is pretty much abandoned, and he knew Todd would have some money stashed. And that opens up a flashback scene between Jesse and Todd. Jesse was at Uncle Jack's, but Todd decides to bring him out, help him with a few jobs. That opens up a scene, him going back to Todd's apartment, showing Jesse around, and Jesse finds out about where money was stashed. So fast forward to the present time, he's going back, he's breaking into this place to get some money. Jesse's going throughout the apartment, tearing this place apart, ripping up the carpet, breaking everything, trying to find this money, eventually finds it, which sets up this really intense scene of these two cops that kind of show up at the same time they're investigating the apartment. Definitely one of the better scenes of the film. In the recent podcast, Henry and I were talking about El Camino before it came out, had some predictions, and one of my predictions I was absolutely correct and accurate on, so I'm pretty stoked about that. But but essentially I was saying who Jesse's going to meet up with to start this new life, and I was correct. And I really loved the way they threw that into the movie. How Jesse is going through so much shit. He's on the run from the cops. He doesn't want to be seen, but he's also trying to find this money so he can start his new life, his new chapter in his life, and get the fuck out of New Mexico. And it sets up a character that we're familiar with from Breaking Bad TV show. And that's all I'm going to say about that, but I really loved the way that was set up, and this really intense atmosphere between these two guys, and some cops again showing up, and it was just really well done. But overall, I had a really great time with El Camino. This is a movie that most of us didn't really know about until a few months ago. It was a huge surprise. It kept the film under wraps for so long, shooting in New Mexico. Vince Gilligan, again, is a genius. And I had a really great time revisiting these characters, returning to Albuquerque, New Mexico, seeing these beautiful shots of the desert in the town of Albuquerque, and these, characters that we loved over, the 5 seasons of Breaking Bad, seeing Skinny Pete again, and Badger, seeing, a glimpse of Mike, glimpse of Heisenberg, which is pretty cool seeing in the movie. Obviously, again, they're older, but it's supposed to be a flashback scene, but they both look older. And it's really great seeing where Jesse Pinkman is at and where he's going in this movie. He's been beat up. Everybody he's loved has been killed. And finally, we get some sort of ending to his story. And he's been through so much shit throughout the entire series. It was great. It was a great send-off for this character. I love the way they ended this movie. And you kind of see some happiness, some joy and fulfillment in Jesse Pinkman's eyes as the credits roll at the very end. And this is definitely Aaron Paul's best performance of his career, the best one to date, because he really added so much to this character, so much darkness. The only downfalls, like I said, in this movie were just some of the flashback scenes. Obviously, the actors are older. Jesse Plemons gained a lot of weight, so that was noticeable, him playing Todd. The flashback scenes, like in the desert in his apartment, that was a little noticeable and distracting at times, I think, but honestly, that was the only downfall of the movie. So overall, I'm going to give Vince Gilligan's El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie, a 4 out of 5 Jesse Pinkman hair pieces. So what did you guys think of El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie? What did you like about it? What didn't you like about it? What did you guys think of that ending? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit subscribe. This is Logan Myerz signing out for the New Mexico desert. Meow, meow. Until the next video review, cheers!